Melanie couldn't see anything. The blindfold robbed her of her sight. She had finished off the oatmeal at what she guessed to be an hour ago. It was already starting to cause her to fill the extra thick diapers she had earned herself. Squirming around didn't help. She had popped almost all the balloons now though. The bad thing was, the Alka-Seltzer was still really itching against what skin wasn't covered in something else. Melanie feared she wouldn't get a diaper change before school. That would be truly embarrassing. As comfortable as she was wearing diapers in front of people, she couldn't stand being punished in front of others. The night slowly dragged on, Melanie getting bits of sleep here and there between wettings and messing. This was a very uncomfortable diaper. She was going to have a really long talk with John about this. She heard herself fart, followed by another thick stream of diarrhea. John was really in trouble for this. She wasn't enjoying this one bit, something she found hard to believe. She usually enjoyed what her mum did, but this wasn't fun at all. She closed her eyes and drifted back off to sleep. Courtney slowly got out of her car, checking that her skirt was covering the diapers she was wearing. She hadn't found a way to get them off and had used them 2 more times since last night. The panties had leaked again, so she had been forced to pull on 2 more diapers over top of them. This seemed to solve the problem for now. She had to get the key. She saw Melanie pull in across the lot. Courtney thought of going straight to her car, but didn't want to appear desperate. Melanie wanted to play games. So be it. She watched as Melanie got out of her car with difficulty. She was dressed in some really thick diapers today. She must have done something bad. She watched as Melanie waddled off to her first class, adept at walking with thick diapers by now. Courtney wasn't good at all walking around with the diapers. She moved quite slowly, shaking the padded bulk back and forth behind her. She got a few stairs going to class, but nobody had pointed anything out to her yet. First period went by fast, the bell ringing before she even noticed. On her way through the halls, people began to take more notice she was wearing diapers. She tried to ignore them, and kept walking to her next class. She focused her attention on this task. She sat next to Melanie, and maybe she could get the key to get out of these things. Courtney made it to class just before the bell, stopping in the bathroom to adjust her diapers on the way. She sat down next to Melanie, who didn't look too happy. She was indeed being punished. She was thickly diapered, with an extremely short miniskirt showing it off. Courtney didn't say anything right away, letting class get underway first. After a time, Courtney spoke up. "Where's the key?" Melanie sat there, mute, watching the chalkboard. She looked down at her desk every once in a while, scribbling down a note or 2 from the lesson. "Where is it?" hissed Courtney. "I have to get out of these things." Melanie still said nothing. Courtney was starting to attract the attention of her classmates. Melanie finally acknowledges Courtney by looking at her and smiling. She said nothing, enraging Courtney. Courtney, not knowing what else to say, turned back front, fuming. She sat through the rest of the class in silence, ignoring everybody who talked to her. The bell rang, beginning the rush for lunch. Courtney grabbed Melanie on their way out. "Do you think this is funny?" she yelled. Melanie nodded. "Just as funny as when it happened to me, isn't it?" Melanie shook off Courtney's grip and waddled off down the hall, leaving Courtney standing alone in the hallway. She pounded her fist against the wall, angry. Her anger quickly gave way to a feeling of helplessness, and she began to cry softly to herself. After collecting herself, she decided to skip instead of coming back from lunch. She couldn't do this the rest of the day. Melanie shifted in the driver's seat of her car, the diapers making it hard to get comfortable. She still hadn't seen John yet today, which was good and bad. She still hadn't decided what to do, but she was still mad he had gotten her in trouble. She checked her mirrors and backed out of her parking spot. She saw Courtney get into her car as she drove by. She's probably going to skip, thought Melanie. Melanie pulled out of the parking lot, into a side street, waiting for Courtney's car. She figured she would follow her, maybe take the opportunity to embarrass her a little. She smiled at her craftiness. Courtney's blazer pulled out of the parking lot, and Melanie dropped in behind. She followed her to Pizza Hut. Wonderfully ironic, thought Melanie. She watched Courtney go inside after parking, and Melanie followed after. Courtney had sat down by herself in a corner. Melanie decided to have a seat. "Hello," she greeted. Courtney glared at her. "Okay," she began. "What do I have to do to get the key?" The words hung in the air momentarily, the brief silence adding tension to the question. "Well," said Melanie, "I haven't quite gotten that far yet." "What?" Courtney shouted. Her voice dropped suddenly. "You lock me in diapers, and you haven't figured it out yet?" Melanie nodded. "That's about the long and the short of it. When's the golf tournament? Tomorrow?" Courtney nodded. "I'm sure that will serve as a good enough platform for what I was thinking about. I think I'll let you out after the tournament," Melanie concluded.